We select the piece of land for the pedologic profile excavation. We carefully walk around the area where we plan to research the soil. Meanwhile, we make notes about all important differences in relief, rock, vegetation, water conditions, and soil usage. Necessary equipment for the excavation of pedological profile: a shovel, a digging spade, a grab hoe, a small shovel, a knife, a measuring tape, and sample bags. For the description worksheets, a pen, distilled water, a pH meter, HCl. A pedological profile is a pit with the vertical section of earth from the surface to the bedrock, about 80 centimeters wide and 70 to 150 centimeters deep, if we do not hit groundwater, rock, sand or gravel. The excavated soil is placed by the longer sides of the profile on the left and right sides. The excavated soil of the upper part is separated from that of the lower part. On plain ground, we excavate the profile with the profile front facing the sun when the excavation is finished and the description of the profile is made. It is therefore necessary for us to plan the time of the excavation so that the profile is well illuminated by the sun and well visible when the excavation is finished. On a slope, the profile is excavated so that the profile front is parallel with the terrain contour. The profile front is one of the shorter sides smoothened by using a shovel. It is intended to be the source of soil research and sampling, and it is therefore not to be trodden on. The vegetation must not be stepped on, and the excavated soil must not be scattered. The shorter front profile side is dug out in a stair-like manner so that it is easier to enter the pit. Firstly, we must clean the profile head. This is done by cutting into the ground with the tip of a knife. We cut in the direction away from where we are standing and we break a piece of the soil. We clean the profile from the top down. This exposes separate layers, horizons. They are firstly separated by color and later by other characteristics. We mark them with capital letters, see FAO labeling, and we note their top and bottom depth. The description of the profile is written on prepared forms. Here, the number of the profile, its location, all important differences in relief, rock, vegetation, water conditions, and soil usage are noted. Then we make a sketch of the soil profile and we add the color spread of the soil with our fingers. This is done by taking a small clod of soil from each horizon, moistening and rubbing it on the paper using the index finger. The soil structure. A larger clod of soil is gently crumbled and broken apart. The shape is determined according to the small clods of soil which form after crumbling. If the soil is moist, we must make sure that we do not press it too hard. The soil texture. We shall determine it by finger experiment. We use the thumb and the index finger to test the sandiness, smoothness, and plasticity of the sample. By doing this, we feel the particles of the sand in the sample because they are very hard and sharp. Smoothness and softness of the soil are the consequences of silt. If there is more silt present, there is a soapy feel to the soil. Stiffness and softness of the soil are the consequences of clay. If there is more clay in the sample, we can make a thin roll which will not break when bended. The surface of a clay sample can also be polished very smoothly. Consistency is a characteristic which depends on the texture and moisture of the soil. We describe it with the following words: soft, beat, sticky, crumbly, kneadable. Moisture. We distinguish between dry soil, There are no traces of moisture on our hands when kneading the soil. Fresh soil, it leaves a print which disappears quickly. Moist soil, there is a well-seen moist print on the hand, but when pressing the soil, no water comes drizzling out. The soil is wet if, when pressing the sample, water comes drizzling out. The level of rootiness is estimated in separate horizons. We characterize each horizon according to consistency, texture, structure, organic material, color. We measure the acidity and carbonate content and other parameters. Sampling of soil. We gather approximately 1 kilogram of soil from each horizon. We place the sample in a bag. We write the sample information on the bag. After returning from the field, we dry the samples, for example by placing them next to or on a radiator. Chemical research of the soil can then take place in the laboratory. After finishing field work, we must fill the pit again, firstly with the soil from the lower part and then from the upper part.